Hello and welcome back to my channel. This year for Halloween, my dog Peanut and I decided to go for Star Wars themed costumes. So today I am going to show you how to make an easy DIY Rey and Baby Yoda costume. Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you aren't already. Alright, let's get into this fun DIY project. For Rey's costume, I was able to thrift most of the items and the rest I already had on hand. I got the white tank top and beige capris from Goodwill for $3.29 each. The two belts I thrifted from Salvation Army for $2.99 each. And the tan fabric I already had on hand, which I will use for her sash. To make Rey's arm wraps, you will also need a plain white tee. This is an old one that I already had. For the Baby Yoda costume, I thrifted this beige skirt for $3.29 and this towel for $1.99 at Goodwill. I will be using these items to make Baby Yoda's jacket. Since I have Rey's basic outfit already done, all I really need to do is work on the sash, belt, and arm wraps. So initially, I thought I was going to have to cut this fabric in half in order to make Rey's sash. But then I realized that Rey's sash is just one long, continuous piece of fabric that crisscrosses in the front. The fabric I had was coincidentally the perfect length for this. I don't like wasting things, plus I'm only going to wear this costume once, so it made me happy that I could reuse this fabric for future sewing projects if needed. If you are wanting to make a sash, you could thrift some curtains or dig up some old bed sheets that you aren't using anymore. To make Rey's belt, I am going to need two belts where one is fitted and where the other is on the looser side. Taking one of the belts, I am going to punch a new hole into it so that it fits my waist snugly. The second belt I have is already the perfect length, where it hangs off my hip, so I don't need to do anything with it. With these two belts, I will be showing you how to put them on and connect them a little later on, but for now, let's move on to the arm wraps. Making the arm wraps is super easy and simple. All you need is a basic white tee. I made sure to take the front pocket off of mine before starting. I am going to start cutting at the bottom of the tee, making one continuous strip until the fabric runs out. In hindsight, I do recommend making the strip thicker and maybe using two white tees instead of one. Taking that one long strip, I am going to cut it in half, and now I have two arm wraps. Let's set those aside for now. Moving on to the Baby Yoda costume, I wasn't quite sure how exactly I wanted to make it, but it is essentially a tan colored jacket with a furry collar. Taking the towel, I am cutting out a rectangular shape in order to make the furry collar. Before I did this, I made sure to measure Peanut's neck so that it would be long enough. Once I cut this, I am going to fold it in half and sew along the outer edges. Initially, I was planning on turning it inside out, but it was way too thick to do that, so I just made sure to sew it closed. Okay, moving on to the actual jacket, this is where there was a lot of trial and error. Since I've never made a jacket for my dog before, I thought a cape would be the simplest thing to do. Taking the skirt, I cut off the top portion and then sewed this onto the collar so that it would make a cape-like jacket. I tried this on my dog, Peanut, but it was way too bulky and hard for her to walk in. I had to make some alterations with a couple more fittings. Peanut was very patient with me, and of course she got some dog treats along the way. I finally landed on this shape here. Before cutting off the excess fabric, I had to take the collar off. I then turned the fabric right sides together and sewed along the edges, leaving an opening at the bottom. To finish it off, I turned it right side out and ironed down the edges. I also made a little tie out of the excess fabric so that I could tie the cape like a robe around my dog's stomach. It did cross my mind to make some green ears for Peanut to wear, but I feel like she already has the right face shape and ear shape as Baby Yoda. Plus, I doubt she would let me put them on her, so for now, the robe will have to do. Finally, I sewed the collar back on, and my camera had died at this point. Alright guys, we have everything needed for these costumes now. I did want to show you how I was able to fit the belts together before showing you the final look. So, taking the fitted belt first, I secured it around my waist with the buckle at my hip. Then I tucked in the extra ends. Taking the second, looser fitting belt, I am going to secure it on the last hole and position the buckle on the same side. Next, I will cover up the buckles with a scrap piece of fabric and then this twine ribbon by wrapping it around to hide the buckles, and this also attaches the two belts to each other. I chose to go with a Star Wars themed costume this year because I feel like the Star Wars story resonates strongly with Indigenous people, as we can draw parallels from their story to our own. I also feel like the makers of Star Wars got their inspiration from Indigenous people for their characters as well. For example, Princess Leia's double bun hairstyle is very similar to that of the Hopi's traditional squash blossom hairstyle, and it has been speculated that this is where they came up with Leia's iconic buns. More recently, it occurred to me that Rey's triple bun hairstyle is very similar to that of the Navajo bun, which I decided to wear here. Also, while I was getting dressed, I had to have my mom help me wrap my arms, and this experience brought back memories of when I was little and had to have her wrap my moccasins for me. Lastly, with the recent series, The Mandalorian, many Indigenous people have claimed Baby Yoda to be one of their own, relating him to our native youth today with memes and artwork. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I certainly had a lot of fun making it. Let me know what you'll be dressing up as this year, and please have a safe Halloween. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like this video. Lastly, I will leave you with this. Ats ahoniye nish holondon, which means may the force be with you in Navajo.